Hello again, class 725. Let's finish our translation. We only have 2 sentences left, so let's continue where we left off yesterday on page 295, number 24. Are you ready? Hemos conseguido el objetivo. We've achieved the objective. We have achieved, we have achieved the objective. This is difficult to pronounce for Spanish people. To achieve the objective. We've achieved, we have. También we've accomplished. We've reached. Alcanzado el objetivo también. We've reached the objective. We've accomplished the objective. We've achieved the objective. To achieve, we've achieved the objective. Hemos logrado la meta. We've accomplished the goal. Con la palabra goal, que es meta, goal, yes. De hecho, se dice meta físicamente como portería, la meta. Gol en propia meta, se dice. ¿No se dice así? Un gol un autogol or something. Yeah, an own goal. Yes, goal is una meta, un objetivo. Goal. We've accomplished, to accomplish, to achieve. We've accomplished the goal. All right, we finished. That was fast. Okay, let's do some vocabulary. Vocabulary booklet, page 157, list 33. Aunque, although, bueno, there are 3 ways of saying aunque. Though, although, and even though. Yeah. And we use all 3 of them. But I don't want to teach them though. Hoy no quiero. No, sin embargo, though. Mucho como si, though. Sin al delante. Ni even delante, though. Y fíjate, hoy la palabra aunque, the word although. No quiero, sin embargo, no lo quiero enseñar. However, I don't want to teach it. Alternative 1. Alternative number 2. Aunque, although. Aunque no lo quiero enseñar hoy. I don't want to teach it today, though. Al final. Ponemos though al final, curiosamente. But today I don't want to teach it, though. Though. Casi no se oye, pero es boom, though. Pero aquí dice although. Although es aunque sin ninguna emoción. Yeah. Although I like that microphone, I prefer to use this one. Que conste en acta. Yeah, for the record. I like that microphone. Although I like that microphone, I prefer to use this one. All right, good. Ahora, although. I like that microphone. I prefer to use this one, though. Though al final es casi como decir pero al final. But, I like that microphone, but I prefer this one. I like that microphone. I prefer to use this one, though. Ahora con emoción. Even though I love that microphone, even though I adore that microphone, I prefer to use this one. So even though es más contraste. Casi emocionante. Even though, fíjate, aunque me encante, me chifle ese micrófono. Prefiero este para la clase. Even though, but don't worry. These are nuances of difference. It's not important in real life. If you say although, perfectly. Although, all right. Más vale tarde que nunca. Mejor tarde que nunca. En inglés, better late than never. Facilito, ¿eh? Better late than never. Para mí no, a veces más vale nunca que tarde. Better late than never. Better late than never. Yes. I can imagine San Pedro en el cielo diciendo, llegas por fin, mejor, más vale tarde que nunca. No, es decir, más vale nunca que tarde. You know, better never than late. Better late than never. Semana Santa is Easter. Holy Week, two ways. The Catholic expression, Catholic, Roman Catholic is Holy Week. Holy is santo, sagrado. O sea, Semana Santa. Holy Week. Holy cow. Holy cow. Cuando te anda, wow, Dios mío. Muchas veces decimos, vaca sagrada. Holy cow. Can you believe? ¿Te lo puedes creer? Mira, holy cow. Claro, en la India las vacas son santas, sagradas. No las puedes tocar. Holy cow, de ahí viene. Holy. Holy God, holy. Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty. All right, holy, ¿dónde estoy? Where am I? Semana Santa is Easter. Easter escrito, Easter. I don't know the etymology of that word. Strange word, Easter. Holy Week. The first time I heard Holy Week, I was probably 12 years old. Easter. Y a los huevos de Pascua, we say Easter eggs. Easter eggs. Obligatorio, mandatory. Obligatory, mandatory. Compulsory. Se usa para cosas de colegio. Compulsory education. Compulsory military service. Algo obligatorio por el gobierno, por la ley. Compulsory. Mandatory. Mandatory es más fácil. Mandatorio, mandatario. Mandatario es el que manda. Pero mandatory is obligatorio. The British say obligatory. Totally different. Obligatory. Oh, it's obligatory. It's obligatory. It's obligatory. Mandatory. All right, mandatory. Myope, nearsighted. Nearsighted. Sight is vista. Nearsighted is myopia. Nearsightedness. Nearsighted. Farsighted es vista cansada, curiosamente. Ves de lejos, pero no puedes leer de cerca. It's farsighted. Nearsighted, farsighted. The British say short-sighted. The British don't say nearsighted. Short-sighted, para miope. In the United States, we say short-sighted figuratively. Ha sido una decisión muy miope. O sea, it's been a short-sighted. No seas tan miope en esta decisión. This is not a physical problem. This is a perception problem or a decision-making problem. Don't be so short-sighted. Yeah, so ante la vista, ante la duda, pues short-sighted. Siempre es correcto. He's short-sighted. He's nearsighted. All right. Porcentaje. Novela. Yeah, I skipped one. Novela is novel. Novel. What's the greatest novel in the Spanish language? The greatest novel, clearly, of the Spanish language is Don Quixote de la Mancha, El Ingenioso Caballero. All right. Hidalgo. All right, Don Quixote. It's the greatest novel in the Spanish language. What's the greatest novel in the French language? Good question. Maybe the greatest novel in the French language is Madame Bovary. Maybe. Or The Count of Monte Cristo. I don't know. There are many great novels. What's the greatest novel in the English language? Good question. I don't know. Perhaps the greatest novel in the English language is Pride and Prejudice, Orgullo y Prejuicio. Maybe it's Wuthering Heights, Cumbres Borrascosas. Maybe it's Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, Grandes Esperanzas. Maybe it's Moby Dick, the American novel about the white whale. Maybe it's Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. The greatest novel in what's the greatest novel? In the Russian language. Difficult. Maybe it's the brothers Karamazov. Maybe it's Crime and Punishment. Maybe it's Anna Karenina. Or maybe it's the Guerra y Paz, War and Peace. What's the greatest novel in history? Maybe Don Quixote, porque era el padre. It was the first great novel. Who knows? A novel. All right, porcentaje is percentage. Un tanto por ciento, a percentage. Percentage. Escrito porcentaje, pronunciado percentage. What percentage of the people in Spain smoke? 10%. What percentage of the people go to Mass every Sunday? 20%. What percentage of the people speak English really well? 1%. Eso sorprende, ¿eh? Really well, que lo hablan, wow, que bien hablan, o sea, domina, 1%. Es medio millón de habitantes, ¿eh? Son muchos. ¿Eh? I mean, there are 47 million people, so 1% is almost 500,000. 500,000 people speak English really well. Excluding people who have an English father or an English mother, American mother, or who went to the British Council or that's different. But Spanish people who have learned English really well, 1%. All right, so percentage, what percentage? Percentage of 10%, 3%. El 3% de la población fuma, o el 10%. Escucha, el 10% de la gente en España fuma. 10% of the people, nunca se pone the delante, como en español. O un 10%, en un 10%. No, 10%. 10%. Las ventas han crecido en un 10%. Sales have risen, 10%. 10%. Sales have fallen, 10%. 10% of the people in Spain smoke. All right. Proximidad is proximity. Qué fácil. The proximity. The proximity of a big storm. Proximity. Papeleo burocrático. Red tape. Red tape. Se usa mucho red tape. There's a lot of red tape in Spain. Mucho papeleo burocrático. Trámites más trámites. Yeah. There's a lot of red tape. Why red tape? Red tape is cinta roja. Yeah. Why? In the United States, in the 19th century, 150 years ago, there was also a bureaucracy. And a person went to his lawyer, como aquí la gestoría, and the lawyer prepared all of the documents, and they tied the documents with red tape to take to the public administration office in red tape. And so the word cinta roja became the word for papeleo y trámites burocráticos, red tape. There's a lot of red tape in Spain. It's terrible. Too much red tape. Too much red tape. We need to reduce. If I were the president, if I were the president of the government, I would make an effort to reduce red tape. To reduce red tape. Grapadora, stapler, to staple. To staple with a stapler. You have staples, you open the stapler and you load the staples in and you staple. Staple, to staple. That's a stapler. Yes. Do you have a stapler at home? I have a stapler. I have 2 staplers at home. When was the last time you used a stapler, Richard? I don't remember. Yes, about 2 or 3 months ago I used a stapler. Have you used a stapler this month? No? Do you have a stapler? Marta doesn't. She doesn't think she has a stapler. You don't need a stapler, no? All right. A stapler to staple things. All right. Apuntar con arma. To aim. To aim. To aim. A-I-M. Mis objetivos también se puede decir my aims. Recomiendo goals is easier to say, it's easier to pronounce, or objectives, but también se oye a veces my aims. ¿Cuál es tu intención o tu objetivo en esto? What's your aim? But to aim is apuntar. I'm aiming at you. How do you say? Atención, listos, apunten fuego, así, ¿no? Ready, aim, fire. Ready, aim, fire. No se dice ready, fire, aim. You have a big problem. Okay. Ready, aim. Algunos gobiernos lo hacen así. Ready, fire, aim. Ready, aim, fire. To aim. I'm aiming at you. Aiming. To aim. Don't aim that gun at me. Somebody's with a gun. Hey, hello, Marta. Hey, don't aim that gun at me. Don't aim that gun at me. To aim. Aclarar is to clear up. I want to clear up this misunderstanding. We have a misunderstanding. Somebody needs to clear it up. Hay que aclarar esto. Un malentendido aquí que hay que aclarar. There's a misunderstanding here that we need to clarify. We need to clear up. We need to clear up the misunderstanding. Clear up. Temer is to fear. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. To fear. Me temo que sea demasiado tarde. I'm afraid. ¿Sí? I'm afraid. So it's correct. I fear. I fear it's a little too late. I fear it's a little too late. Pero solemos decir I'm afraid. Me temo que sea demasiado tarde para ti o aprender inglés. How old are you? 97 years old. Beginner. Well, I'm afraid it's a little late to start. I fear, to fear. Franklin Roosevelt said there's nothing to fear but fear itself. No hay nada que temer que el temor en sí. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. I don't really agree with that because that was in the middle of the Great Depression and people were afraid. And to say that the only fear is fear itself perhaps was not enough. But he was a good president, I think. But in any case, averiguar, descubrir is to find out. Voy a averiguar lo que pasó. I'm going to find out. Find out. I'm going to find out. He repetido estas cosas 1000 veces. Más vale que se asimilen. All right. Find out. ¿Qué has averiguado? What did you find out? I found out that only 5% of the viewers have bought the books. Yeah, can you believe it, Marta? Find out. To find out. What did you find out? What did you find out is ¿qué has podido averiguar? O ¿qué has averiguado? What did you find out? Respuesta, I found out that. All right, to find out. Publicar, emitir o lanzar. Lanzar al público. To issue. To issue. Now to publish is publicar un libro. To publish. To issue is publicar un comunicado. To issue a statement. Difundir un comunicado. To issue a statement. Publicar una revista. El número de revistas en issue. Yeah, to issue. We're going to issue a new decision. In factories, it's very important to document every decision in a factory because the responsibility and the decision-making process needs to be very, very well documented. And so they issue decisions. Emitir la decisión de cambiar la arandela XPT por una arandela XKL. Yeah. And you need to be careful that this is, what's the difference between these two washer? Una arandela is a washer. What's the difference? This washer contains slightly less steel, la composición del acero. Se ahorra 8 céntimos por arandela. All right. Than the old one. Be careful. Make sure that this washer will protect the engine. Si no se quema el motor o la transmisión. si la arandela falla. Be careful. Por ahorrar 8 céntimos para arandela, una empresa tuvo de reclamarse en garantía de $50 millones. Y fue arandela. La investigación, chum, el cambio de arandela. Can you believe it? 50, more than that. Yo creo que eran $500 millones. Yeah. Todas las máquinas en el campo fallaron en un mismo verano durante la recolección. ¡Pum! Yes, todas las máquinas nuevas con esa arandela. Yeah, that washer. So you need to be they issued a decision to change the washer in order to save money, porque había como 100 arandelas en la transmisión. And so you save, o sea, son 8 euros o algo así. You can save and you have, in the end it's a lot of money. You save. However, the composition of the steel in the washer was a little bit less. And the washer burned, se quemaron todas las arandelas. Se disolvieron. They dissolved, and the oil entered the transmission, destroyed the transmissions of hundreds and hundreds of combine harvesters. All right. So you need to be careful. You need to be careful to issue your decision, to issue. All right, buscar como consulta, to look up. Ya, to buscar, mira. Esto. ¿Qué significa? Let's see. Manitas. Ah, handyman. Okay, ya, o sea, muy mañoso. Es un manito con esto. All right. So, yeah, to look it up. I'm looking up the definition, to look up. También mirar en un horario de trenes. A ver, I'm looking up the timetable. I'm looking up the train. To look up is buscar como consulta. Yeah, that's to look up, not to look for. To look for is lo has perdido. To look up. Fingir is to pretend. Echar de menos is to miss. Te echo de menos. Te extraño, como dicen in Chile. I miss you. Do you miss me? Las mamás. The mothers. In the summertime, we have campamentos para niños y adolescentes. For children and for adolescents, we have summer camps for English. And the littlest ones, 5 years old, 6 years old, sometimes they cry on the first day or the first 2 hours. They cry. But after that, no, because they're having a wonderful time. And after 4 days, they can speak to the mother and the father. For the first 4 days, prohibited. And some mothers said, Hola, Juanito, just de menos a tu mamá. Don't you miss your mother? And Juanito starts crying again. They ruin everything is going perfectly. It's the mother. La madre echa más de menos al niño que al niño a la mamá. Okay, and so sometimes the mothers say, don't you miss your mother? Don't you, Carmenchu, don't you miss your mother? And finally the little boy, little Juanito, starts crying again, and so we have a problem again. All right, the mothers. Ay, madres, we take, when the kids get on the bus, we take the cell phone. Because English, not cell phone. And we give them the cell phone every 2 days or every 3 days for 10 minutes to make telephone calls. All right. Occasionally, a mother will put a second cell phone and give the child a cell phone. And so at night, the child is not talking to the mother, the child is playing games on the cell phone. So, ay, las mamás, the mothers. I defend mothers. I'm in favor of mothers, but sometimes the mothers with the children are too protective. Okay, fingir is, to miss. Do you miss me? If I stop teaching, will you miss me? Me echarán de menos si dejo de enseñar, ¿tú crees? They'll miss me for about 2 or 3 months. Then you'll forget about me. You'll forget me. To miss. Y por último, to fingir. To pretend. Don't finjas que estás compungido, because you're not. Don't pretend. Don't pretend. Pretend. Pretend no es pretender. ¿Qué pretendes? No. No. Estás haciendo el herido, ¿ah? No, you're pretending. Yes, she's the great pretender. Yes, you're pretending. Ahora, imaginemos que yo soy un hombre de nieve. Let's pretend I'm a snowman. Frosty the snowman. Let's pretend. Hacemos creer, imaginemos que, usando la imaginación, de fingir. That's to pretend. Don't pretend. So pretend, but don't pretend now I'm a snowman. Pretend I'm somebody saying goodbye. See you tomorrow.